we're going to remove about 550 pounds of headache. Sooner the better as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to work on pulling this 383 motor and transmission. Neither one of them will basically function. One of the things is when we got the car, it had no oil pressure. Some of you might remember that. We finally did some bearing work and got some oil pressure, but I think it's got a bad cam in it too. It's how we bought it, guys. We're fixing it right now though. There we go. Some long spark plug wires. I don't need this guy in my way. Beautiful. Just about. There we go. Now we can start to see a bit of what's going on. Surprisingly, I was able to get all of these exhaust studs out of there. Exhaust bolts. So that came out all right. But the other side, there's one bolt that the steering arm is right up to it. I got them all off, but this back one, you can see it, but I don't know how to get at it without raising the engine up. So that's what we're going to do. I do think it's worth mentioning that the largest engine you could get in the 79 Dodge Magnum was the 360, and this is a 360 car, but long before we bought it, somebody had put in a 383, and I don't know what it was when they put it in there, but now there's just so many things not right with this and the transmission. Transmission just wants to slip, won't put out any through power what little the 383 is making in its current condition. And the easiest, best way for us to get this car on the road is just replace them both. I'm gonna see if I can't get at that bolt by that. Maybe. Everybody wants a tech tip. Here's your tech tip of the day. Get yourself some bolt extractors for rounded off bolts. They work. And a combination of just a weak engine that's not right, probably had flat lobes, and a transmission that struggled to put any power and just wanted to rev and slip. This is best, guys. Here's about 650 pounds of headache. It wouldn't move the car, wouldn't beat the van. Remember that? But look at this. Look at this. They didn't have no kickdown linkage, so they had this trying to pin the kickdown back so it always had pressure on it, throttle pressure on it. Yeah. Well, we're partway there. We got rid of what wasn't working. We got a plan of something that hopefully will work. You know how plans go. This is the replacement for the 383. It's a 1977 440. We needed to put a legend inside the legend. And some of you might say, 79 Dodge Magnum, a legend? It sure is. It was built for Richard Petty, and I think that he was a legend. Only made it 2 years. It's the last of the B-bodies, the forgotten B-bodies they call it. So we got a B-body built for Richard Petty that he raced. Not this very car. I mean, you figured that much. But he raced it. His son raced in a Dodge Magnum. And so we put the legendary 440 in there. True, it's not the Magnum HP. We didn't do anything that really hop it up. But we did put a new timing chain. We did give it a valve job. And I actually had to clean up some rust in this front cylinder here and put new rings just in that one. But all the bearings and the rest of the cylinders are all factory. So it's a low compression, small cam 440. But you cannot take away, it's still the 440 that put Dodge, Plymouth, and even Chrysler on the map. But putting this in here was no easy task. I didn't have the right oil pan. I should have used the 971 oil pan. I didn't have one, couldn't get one. So I bought one from 440 Source that everybody online says is the right one for these late B-bodies. It was not. I had to beat the front of it in and dent it in so it would clear the K-frame. And also I bought new motor mounts for it. The ones on the 383, they were just, the bushing was all loose and the rubber insulate had let loose. So we put brand new ones on there, and I couldn't, after I got the oil pan clearance, I couldn't set the engine in the saddles. I pulled it out again, took the motor mounts off, and tried to put them in there without an engine attached to them, and I couldn't do it. So I had to cut about 60 thousandths off of each bushing to get it to fit in the saddles, and then it fit like a glove. This 727 we bought off a marketplace for $100. It came out of a 73 Coronet that had a 400 in front of it. So we bought that. Guy said it shifted good when they pulled it. That's why they saved it, but just never used it. So I put a new front seal in the front of it, and I hope it works. But that's our 727. The torque converter is a torque converter I bought a while back, and I gave $50 for that. It's just a standard car torque converter, and I'm using it's a neutral balance converter, and I'm using the 440 Source flex plate that's balanced, so I can use a neutral balance converter with the 440. The 440 is in, the RV 440 that is. We made several changes versus the 383 that was in here. The first change is we have kickdown linkage now. And you're probably wondering why I didn't take the time to paint this orange. I didn't paint this orange because it's a reminder to me that a viewer, subscriber of mine sent me that for free. Awful nice of him. It's also the same guy who bought my Ram Charger, so thumbs up to him. Another change we made, this here is how they ran the power booster before, because the 383 had a bigger cam in it. Well, this has the stock RV cam, which is small, broomstick handle. This is now run off the intake. So I eliminated 10 pounds of noise. Also, Also, we had an electric fill pump on there in the back. It's how they ran the 383. And it had a pressure regulator right here, and it was leaking. And I eliminated that. I just put some braided on here, and I'm running off the mechanical fill pump on there. So now we have a new mechanical fill pump, new timing chain, new water pump. Yeah, so that's where it is. Think it'll start? We also have a oil pressure gauge hooked up to it so I can monitor it.